it's David and Lori and Lori and David here. No, it's just Lori, but I'm here too.
You're there too.
And today, this is another Adventures of Lori and David. We had an adventure the other night. We went to a local runoff creek. We were actually on a walk and saw this little runoff creek.
It's a secret.
It had a bunch of little parrot feathers. Look at this stuff. This is an aquatic plant. You can buy this, but it also grows wild. And it looks like little feathers. You can see that. Very nice. And it grows nice across the top of the ponds. Now, if you let it grow just kind of out, it'll grow all over the place. It's kind of invasive. But if you'll bunch it together in little bunches, like we're doing here, I'm going to zip tie that one together there. And we're going to put it in a little bucket over here, a little pot.
Is that the correct way or not?
No, it's the other way.
Every time.
And flip that. Lori's not very good with the zip tie.
Every time I screw it up.
And so she's going to pull that about a 1/4 inch from the bottom. And she pulls that together, and if they grow straight up out of the water, they kind of stay bunched together and makes a nice cover for the fish. But yeah, parrot feather is a cool plant.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Look, there it was.
Okay.
Now,
It also, part of it grows under the water and part of it grows out of the water. And so when you bunch it this way, it's more likely to go straight up and be more upright out of the water. Otherwise it'll go sideways. It throws out rhizomes, which is real technical and I don't quite understand, but it's like shooting out a root basically.
yeah, look, you can kind of see some of them coming out.
It'll
here.
go all over the place. But it's very good for getting toxic hard chemicals, minerals and things out of the water. And so they're very helpful for waterways if they're controlled. Put some little guys in that one.
What we found was a little out of control.
They were very long.
They were very long, and there was a lot of it. We grabbed a few, and we thought we'd throw some in the pond. Before you can put this stuff in the pond, though, you have to actually put it through a process, because if you just put if you put lilies or pulled something out of a waterway or whatever, like a local drainage ditch or something like we have done here, it has toxins and stuff in it, and so you have to, and it has all kinds of stuff on it, so you have to clean it. You can see some of these rhizomes are coming off. Look at that. And yeah, to clean it, you actually put a little bit of 3% hydrogen peroxide in a mixture, that you mix per the amount of water that you have, gallons of water.
You can Google it.
Yeah, you can Google that online. It tells you how much, and it will clean everything. Leave it in there for 5 minutes. It cleans everything, and now we're bunching these together. You can see she's bunching more of this, and we're going to put it in. And all you do is you take one of these little buckets here. You know what little planting buckets you get, and I'm going to stick that down in there. And we've
You
got.
need me to hold your phone?
I got it.
Okay.
And you can see the zip tie down there. I'm going to grab a handful of some pea gravel here and just dump that in. It's going to catch that little knot on the zip tie. And then we're ready to go. We're going to go sit it over here in the water.
This is phase 2. We're not putting it in the pond yet.
It doesn't go in the pond yet. They're going to let these get going real good. These, you can see we've already done some, and they're sitting in here. Phase 2, we've cleaned them. Now we've planted them in these little buckets, and then phase 3, they will actually go in. Some of these will actually go in the pond around and give the fish some nice cover, and also help out with any hard minerals or toxins or anything that might be in the pond. So very cool. This has been the Parrot Feather Project. I'm going to show you, I'm going to pop over here real quick and pop back over the pond, and I'm going to show you a couple other plants that are around the pond. So let's go check it out.
Hey, here we are at the pond, and we've got a few plants that we're propagating some more of. This, where our gator is, this is pickerel rush, and the jump fits. It will keep spreading. Fellas, watch out. I don't know if you can see down here in the water where it's actually growing out the side here. Hey fellas. So you can actually cut that off and pot it like this. And so we're doing some of those. It will also spread like crazy. So part of that is to kind of keep it under control, and part of that is just, I got a rock under there. That's one of our pond plants. You can see that we have some lily pads. And generally, when it was in the smaller pond, we would have to absolutely rip them out every year because it would be too much. So they're just starting to spread out now.
Now, does the pickerel rush, does it flower or anything?
Oh, it does. It has really pretty purple flowers. Really like hummingbirds like to do.
And the lilies will flower as well, correct?
Yeah, ours are white and yellow, I think. I think we have two varieties in there. So we also have hornwort. And hornwort's a really good oxygenating plant.
Oxygenating.
And you can see it kind of has a pine tree look to it in a way. It's a great plant for fish. They do eat it some, but they're not super excited about it.
And for those of you who are having trouble with oxygenating, that means it adds oxygen to the water rather than depleting oxygen from the water like some plants do.
Right. So
Can we pull up any
which one?
Can we pull up any anacris?
Yeah, I was doing that right now. So that's anacris.
There is a piece of anacris
Yeah.
right there.
And it's getting a little more yellow than I want, but I think that's because it's getting a little too much sun. So we'll get them weighted down.
Can you see a little bit closer?
Yeah, let me get them. That's what anacris looks like. Now they do eat this. So, you know, you don't feed fish over the winter. We get that question a lot, like, are they okay over the winter? And just like any fish in any lake, they are as long as they have enough depth to where they are and then get down below. So anacris tends to connect itself around the bottom, around the base of this lily pad pot. And if they get hungry, they'll nibble on it. But basically, their metabolism slows down a lot, so they don't want to eat much. And if they do, that's what they eat.
I think the only other pond plant we have is on the other side, so let's walk around over there and we'll check it out. Hey, so this is the final one we have here. This is papyrus, which is interesting. This is kind of like what the Egyptians used to make paper. So this would dry out and they cut it and they weave it together and make paper. But this does, it grows in the water. It also can grow out of the water. We had it planted before we moved to the big pond over here, had it in the pond. It was taking over the small pond, so we put it in the ground and it grew fine there. Now we've broken it up into several pieces out of the pots here, and they're in multiple pots here. We've weighted it down, and this will just root in the water and it'll grow in big bunches. It almost kind of has a bamboo-y type, is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Look to it, but it's very nice, very lush. You can see some of it coming up already, some of the new growth. And then we also have some in buckets over here that's actually growing out of some of the buckets so that we can take it out and clean it up and put it in here as well. So this side of the pond will also provide some housing for some of the little guys and some of the babies that will be born. A lot of them will be hiding in a lot of this vegetation. And so all this vegetation in, not only does it we put in here, not only does it provide things for the pond, the health of the pond, but also provides some protection for the fish. They're able to get under things. People ask me about birds a lot. Well, this is 2 feet deep. They also have a lot to get under. They even sometimes get under the hydroponic.
They do.
thing.
What's this egg carton you got over here? What's going on there?
Oh, the little egg carton. This was our first aquaponic project. And look, we have some Swiss chard coming up, just grown in some rock wool. And then I have a little piece of, look at this, this is some spinach coming up in a pool noodle and a K-cup. And then of course Luke put this together for his school project. We have that is a whole tray of Swiss chard that's gonna sprout. And that's it, it just floats in the water. And actually, if you watch his video, that's called, I believe it's called Volcanoes, Fish Poop, and Swiss chard. You should go watch his other videos just above this one, so check that out. But yeah, these plants all provide a lot of stuff for these fish, and you can see how happy they are. They are just fantastic.
David's the fish whisperer. Look, they're like,
hey guys,
oh, there he is.
Come on over.
There he is.
Hey. They just want food. That's all.
All the time.
So this has been another episode of The Adventures of Lori and David. Hope you enjoyed seeing the plants in the pond, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.